Welcome to this week's episode of the Comic Thoughts podcast. This is 113.
We think.
Yeah, we think you are joined by me once again, the hostess with the mostest, Ashraf, and Sam Cripps, who is back. Well, he didn't go anywhere really.
I didn't go anywhere. Nothing's changed. I've been looking at houses.
Changed. Yeah, he's been looking at houses. He didn't go motorcycling, so
No, I
that's
cancelled
good.
that. So I just went and looked at housing.
Yeah, we're filming this
Adulting.
on the weekend, really
I
out
know.
of character. And then finally we're joined by our illustrious Loki the cat and also Loki's
Yeah,
human
I'm sure he'll
Brett.
show up at some point.
Yeah.
Really been annoying me.
How you going, Brett? Was the football good? Did you have a couple too many beers?
I had a couple before, and I was going to have some there, but I don't know. I never ended up having any there, so didn't actually get anything. Didn't get any food or anything. So exciting stuff. But no,
It's fucking
they
crowded last night.
it was just Collingwood Port game. Bloody Collingwood got a goal right at the end and fucking got in front.
I don't know.
Unfortunately.
I don't know. Sports.
Which would have been good because it was
You used to
first
film
versus
this shit.
second. So
Yeah, I used to
Anyway.
work for the AFL. Yeah, that was one of my earliest jobs, was working for the AFL, doing all their film and cable development in Tasmania. And there's pictures of me asleep on the football field during the game because I'd been there since like, I don't know, 4 a.m. or something, and I'd done thousands of meters, and I had the cable wrapped around my arm, and the guys running around with the camera because I was having a bit of a break, and I'm just like this.
They only have like 2 games a year there, don't they? How can you?
Nah, there's more than that. There's a lot of training sessions too, because there's cameras set up at that place for every little thing that ever happened to do with football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to stuff that people actually care about.
Yeah, comics and toys.
Comics and toys. That's right. Did anyone receive anything cool over the past, I don't know how many weeks we've had, like, since the last episode?
Let me jump in. Jump in because I messaged you guys the other day about how JB Hi-Fi had some really cheap stuff.
Insane.
So I'm still waiting for some things to arrive, but the Superman puncher card comic and toy arrived. I got that for Page Puncher. Got that for $5. That's not here. It's sitting at Bryony's. I've got pretty much all the other ones have released, I think, except for maybe like one. We're all about $5. So I just ordered all of them for $5.
You have all of them?
I think how many is there? I don't even know. Isn't there like a handful?
Now. There's a bunch now.
Well, I ordered a handful of them.
I didn't know you had any.
Yeah. Oh, I had none, and now I've just ordered them all because they were all $5. So all the ones I could see. So all of the ones that were $5 I ordered, and one arrived the other day, and the rest of them are coming later because in that other box that's coming, it's got Overt Kill, the big Spawn figure. And then for some reason on their website, it's really weird. It doesn't tell you if the manga Spawn is the big one or not. It just says manga Spawn. And I was too scared that I was going to order it and then it was going to come as like
the small one.
A small one.
I think the manga Spawn is only a mega figure. Am I wrong?
Well, you might be right. I haven't done enough research, but
you got it.
Found one for $20, down from $89.
That's
to
insane.
$20.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've literally got them here. I got the.
I want one.
That was at JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah, JB Hi-Fi's got a really good toy sale. I know Cygor's on there for $20 as well, and I spent $90 on Cygor because it is Cygor is like an amazing figure. Oh my god, I've gone completely blank. This basically Satan. I can't Violator.
Violator.
The actual, not the clown version, but the big bloody one, which I did a whole video on. That's huge and fantastic. This one, when it came out, I was looking at it. It's kind of cheaper, kind of nastier looking. And I must admit, I just don't like manga Spawn that much. So I was just really holding off. And I think I'd even said to you, Ashraf, I was like, I'm not buying this figure until I can get it for like $30. Like that's in my head where this sat for me. And then as soon as I saw the deal for $20, I was like, well, I guess I'm getting Overt Kill and this. So I ended up getting this, Overt Kill, and all those puncher figures. I think I've spent 50, maybe $70 all up. So still under the price of one of these. So yeah, for like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got 6 or 7 figures for the price of one of these. So I was pretty
That's
stoked with
insane.
that.
That's all of them?
Yeah.
Is that the whole set? Or
That's all that there's more on the way being released. So there's more of these bigger ones coming out, but I know he's been doing a lot more bigger DC stuff for McFarlane. So I think there's been a bit of a gap. There's also, I know we weren't going to talk about SDCC, but they did just announce that there's another Spawn Kickstarter set.
Yeah, they did.
With the medieval Spawn that is coming soon, and they did the pictures and stuff, and that looks phenomenal.
Looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And that last set, I got them because I did the big, whatever it was, $600, $700 set. They were fantastic. They're huge, super articulate, like just amazing figures. But this is where it comes down to, like I said, this one to me, when I looked at it in person, I was like, nah, this is a $20 figure easily, just because it's so, I don't know, this one just feels cheap. Like I can see the movements in the legs and the arms. It's all really visible joints. The paint on it is okay. Like it's just, yeah, I don't know. And the swords and the weapons are, or like the weapons are already kind of bent. Like they're not straight or any of that.
How much articulation has it got? Just like
not
elbows,
a lot.
knees?
No.
This one's got heaps more. It's got,
no, I mean
hands,
like you can bend the stuff, but because the armor is too big, like prevents it from
really
bending,
move.
doesn't it?
Not this one. Not this
okay.
one. This
Maybe
one compared to the others. I mean, all of these have actually been really movable, which is what surprised me with the other two, because I didn't think I'd be able to move them at all. But they are surprisingly movable. But once again, a classic McFarlane problem is weight distribution. So there's some of them are very top heavy, and that's, I know I can even see one of my figures. He's actually using his hand to lean back. It looks like he's deliberately slouching like that, but that hand is basically balancing him upright. So
they're comic accurate. They just can't stand up.
Exactly. Now, while I'm still jabbering on about Spawn, I had some Spawn news I wanted to share with you guys. I can't remember if I told you or not. So the big Spawn news is I'm no longer buying Spawn comics.
Because you got them all?
No, I've stopped getting the ones that are currently coming out too.
What? I don't get it. Why?
It's so much, because they went from Spawn to the Spawn universe.
Yeah.
And there's like in a month a minimum of 4 to 5 books coming out.
Yeah.
I can't keep up. The piles I had of Spawn to read were equivalent to my Marvel and DC pile. Like it was just too much. So if I was just getting Spawn and that was the one thing I was into, then that would be fantastic. But because Spawn has always been the one that I was getting, because I'll put it this way, it was cheaper, it was easier to get, and I enjoyed the hunt for them because the later issues aren't as common. But now he's flooded the market with Spawn comics to the point where I can't tell what's happening in the story. He's done a Marvel and a DC where he's done a big crossover event and diluted everything so much that every issue has a scorched issue 5, and I'm like,
Gunslinger.
Yeah, or Gunslinger. Really have any like creative influence on it anymore? Is it just other people writing and drawing?
He writes it still.
Yeah,
and he decides what the universe is and whatever.
Yeah, he's still got the main control over it, which is very impressive considering how long it's been going for, that he's still kept his fingers so heavily in it. And what I was reading, I'll say, was really good. But the problem was I was reading not just that. Like I'm reading all my other comics as well. So between the other comics and Spawn, it was just getting lost and too much going on. So, and heaps of new characters been introduced that were really cool, but weren't cool enough for me to go, oh, I've got to read that new issue. So I actually decided I'll pull the pin on Spawn at the moment. I think I'm still going to get the regular Spawn. I'm not going to get any Gunslinger, any Scorch,
Lady Spawn,
King Spawn, all that other stuff. Every single other thing they've done, I'm like, nah, too much. And in fact, I haven't even read any of the new Spawn stuff, so I can't remember. I might have even told Ian I'm just canning that for the moment because it's just become too much, way too much. But yeah, there's my Spawn spiel. I thought you guys would like to know that because you know how long I've been collecting and getting Spawn stuff for. Possibly my second longest running comic. So yeah.
It's crazy because I remember when they announced that for the first time they were spinning off Spawn into all of these different lines and making a Spawn universe, and you were excited. It was like the first time ever. And this is weird because the comic came out like years and years ago that like Todd McFarlane agreed to like make a universe out of that thing.
Yeah.
And then that's what I mean, as everyone here is like reads like a bunch of like mainline superhero comics, that's kind of what happens, right? It just gets diluted and it gets really complicated and hard to follow. So
I think the only time I think it's worked is in the 90s, but even then it started with all the X titles, like you had X Factor, X Force, X Men. They shut off New Mutants to create X Force, and then you had the two X Men titles, like the Straight X Men and Uncanny. But then they started up all the extra ones like Gen X and all that, and I think they were working quite well, but yeah, I think it started going overboard with all the miniseries.
Yeah,
I
and
think that's what kind of does it.
That's what they've also done in this time frame between them starting the universe and me now canceling buying
2 years ago.
They've also done now so many mini runs of Spawn, whatever, and King Spawn and Night Spawn and all that stuff. But the fact that they're running, there's like, I figured out 2 of the books are running at the same time, pretty much the same release schedule. And it's about the same, like it's just Spawn, like it's just about him. And it was getting kind of confusing because in one of them he's becoming the king, he's becoming a powerful god basically of that world, and in the other one he's still just regular Spawn. And I was like, where's the, like, is this an Elseworld story? Is there a time difference? Where does this actually fit in? And then apparently it's just meant to be happening at the same time, but the stories don't almost match. And that was the one that really bothered me, was the King Spawn, because the King Spawn book, if you read it by itself, seemed awesome. But the fact is it's meant to tie in and it just missed the mark. It just completely, out of all of them, Gunsling is the one you should pick up and read if you're going to try and dive into anything Spawn related. But like I said, it all ties in and was getting very muddy. So I decided, nope, I cancelled Spawn. I've cancelled, I think it's the current Spider-Verse, what is it, Edge of Spider-Verse?
Too many Spider-Mans as well.
Is it End of Spider-Man? End of Spider-Verse?
No, they just finished. They just finished. There's another whatever. I'm about to cancel the Venom, Extreme Venom verse as well.
Jesus.
I bought them up here to read, and I'm probably just gonna have a look at the first issue
tonight.
And then
I was gonna bring up that complaint you have about the 2 Spawns running at the same time. Reminds me of like Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man at the same time, or Batman and Batman Robin at the same time.
I usually pick one. Like I've always, I mean, Amazing's going to be the go-to, but I always have struggled with the whatever else is running at the same time. I find, especially if you're trying to include it as one series, it's better if it's a short, its own story, like a 6-part mini. But you include it in and go, oh, this is between issues, this and this. It starts to get messy.
Yeah, I think the Spider-Man, the ones, they're kind of doing it all right because they've got the Miles and then the Peter Parker kind of thing. So it is 2 series.
That's fine.
No, there's two Peter Parker books
at the moment. Yeah.
But then it's like I think like the overkill with all the miniseries and all that shit. Like, it's hard to do.
Clone Saga Gwen. Obviously I don't get any of those anymore.
Yeah.
And now like Venom, like there's Venom, Extreme Venom verse. There's also the Death of the Venom verse coming. There's Cult of Carnage, Reign of Carnage, and something else, all going at the same time. And so now I'm going through that and I'm like, I'm gonna probably drop that Extreme Venom verse. I think there might only be one more book to go. So I probably, if I get it, I'm not even gonna read it because just shit. And then I'll probably read the Death of the Venom verse because that sounds a bit more interesting. But also Noel's returning and I don't want him to. Like, they're just, I don't know. Venom's gone for this whole transformation of being amazing, the Kate stuff, really cool, into this space galactic, boring nothingness. And now they're trying to like claw back to find some grit to that story. And it's just, me and Ian had a good chat the other day. And it was like, it's really hard at the moment because there's so many good stories. Like Ghost Rider has been phenomenal. Moon Knight has been phenomenal. Punisher has been phenomenal. And I know a lot of these are around like finishing up soon, but you got these absolutely incredible stories coming out from Marvel, and then you are reading these Spider-Man adjacent books that are just fluff crap. So it's just, where do you try and draw the lines? Like I read all the Aliens recently, and they were phenomenal, and now I'm not getting the next one. But a part of me is like, well, do I want to drop some of this extraverse crap and pick up some of these other titles that I think newer people are working on, which is, you know, maybe why it seems more interesting too. It's not like a recycled story. But yeah, anyway, there's my big whinge about the Spawn stuff mainly.
Yeah, there's a lot you can unpack with that Spawn stuff, and then the Kate stuff you brought up as well. I hope Spawn appears in crossover at some point.
The Spawns that were announced. Todd McFarlane announced his 5 new Spawn comics at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, he did? That's crazy.
On Friday.
What, another 5?
Gunslinger Spawn series.
Are you reading last year's announcement?
So the Sam and Twitch probably won't have Spawn in it, I guess. It'll just be them two.
Oh, Sam and Twitch is a new one. They haven't done one for those for a while.
One called Misery, which I don't
Is a new
really...
character.
No, there's a Spawn kills every Spawn. So that's another one of those things.
Is that like it's a mini like funny one. Deadpool kills,
you know, like the Punisher kills the Marvel Universe, and that's probably a mini series, I would think.
They've already done the Deadpool
one called
Spawn kills everyone.
No Home Here will use the elements of the last 30 years of Spawn, take place in the future.
Yeah, see, I just can't. It's just too much.
A future Spawn.
And that's on top of what it has already been doing.
That's on top of what's coming out currently.
Fuck, that's so much. And I love Spawn, but
10 Spawn titles running, and then yeah,
10 Spawn titles with then a handful of weird other stuff, like, you know, a reprint of The Walking Dead again. And then then Saga, which is fantastic.
It'll come back at some point.
It is. It's already pumping out now. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And
I can't believe that they haven't made it
come back.
Because there's no TV or movie for Saga coming up, is there? There's
he doesn't want it to.
No. For now.
He just told him straight out, no.
Yeah. Brian, I'm pretty sure it was Brian K. Vaughan was like, not a chance. He's like, you can develop these other comics. Like, I think that was a part of the Paper Girls and all that stuff. He was like, you can develop these kind of ones, but keep away from Saga. The money and the technology is not where I need it to be as good as I want it to be.
Yeah, he said that he wanted it to be as unadaptable as possible. That's why he made it as like extremely extraordinary every issue and fantastical. But like, he has final say in that because he owns the fucking comic.
Very smart to own that, because that is an incredible piece of property to have.
Yeah, that's why Robert Kirkman is so fucking rich.
Yeah.
I think that's the good thing about what Image did and giving all the creators the rights to their thing. And you'd imagine half the Marvel and DC writers and artists.
Yeah, they don't even get like residuals from the characters getting used in movies. But the thing with that McFarlane like Image stuff is like they did that, and then McFarlane and Neil Gaiman go into like a 20-year lawsuit over who owns Medieval Spawn, and then Alan Moore also goes into a lawsuit over who owns
Angela.
Or I think it is it. And then Robert Kirkman and like the people who the person who wrote like Once and Future King or whatever, that got into like a legal disagreement as well. So it's like they're still trying to fuck some people over.
That's normal. It's all part of the industry, though, isn't it?
It's
really,
business.
at the end of the day, it's all about money. Speaking of money, how much money have you spent on toys, Ashraf? Let's see what you've got.
So you didn't get any toys in the past few weeks? Oh, aside from the page function? Oh no, you got some other stuff. Okay, so finally got Connor to send me the toys that I asked him to get me. This is
the Jean Grey one?
The Jean Grey one. He got he got a Jean Grey figure because he thought it was Jean Grey, and then he finally got the actual Wonder Woman Shazam figure. This is the sucky part about this, is that for some reason McFarlane's also a really crazy person, like just a crazy human being. Like he doesn't release any. This is the only like Wonder Woman figure he's released essentially. like in the last
What?
2 years.
Oh,
So
but
it's
there was,
based on the Shazam movie one.
Yeah, it's based on the Shazam movie one. Like he hasn't released a comic,
is she in
like a
Shazam?
classic comic Wonder Woman.
For like
Is
5 seconds, yeah.
Oh, well, I haven't seen the new one. I was just.
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen
she's in it.
Shazam yet.
Yeah, for like 5
Yeah.
seconds.
Okay,
It
I'm
actually
gonna
looks
watch
like
it
a
at some
fake
point.
toy because I don't know. You don't believe that she's in the movie?
No, I didn't know that. So I'm like, oh, okay, is that fake? Because I haven't seen the latest Shazam, because I got in that horrible mindset of being like, oh, this
None of
means
this
nothing.
matters.
Yeah, none of this matters.
Yeah, I think everyone else is like that apparently. But like, yeah, and then like the excuse he said when McFarlane was getting interviewed was that like it would turn little boys into serial killers or something. I don't know.
That's awesome. I need to
That's
find
so
out more
weird.
about that.
Buying a Wonder Woman toy.
No, like little boys getting female action figures for like their birthday or something.
Turn them into serial killers.
Yeah,
I
it's
need to
weird.
find
It's
this
a weird.
quote. I need to
Yeah,
find this quote.
I'll
Yeah.
bring up the interview. Well, I'll say allegedly. Since
Yeah,
he
allegedly. Yeah, send it
he
to
wants
me.
to he wants to legally go after me. I also got this Two-Face figure from the Dark Knight. Yeah, McFarlane once again released another Batman adjacent line, as we like it up. And I also got a unmasked Michael Keaton. I think this was like an impulse purchase. Like, because Connor asked me if I wanted it. I was like, yes. And then now that I have it, I'm like, why did I spend like $45 on the same figure just with like a Michael Keaton hit?
Instead of just waiting for one that's released with multiple faces.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like as much as we give Marvel Legends shit, at least they ship a figure with multiple hits. Like that rarely happens to McFarlane, if ever.
He just
I also got
a figure.
this Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse Spider-Man 2099 figure, Marvel Legends.
I looked at that
pretty
the other
good.
day. How much did that cost you?
It's actually the same price as any other Marvel Legends. I think it's just $45.
Okay. I was talking to Connor yesterday. I ran into him, and we were talking about how there's a sale on for some of the legends at Zing.
Yeah, Zing.
And basically, I could get all the figures to build the Khonshu fairly cheap. The problem is I don't want any of those figures other than the one I've got. Like there's every other figure in that line shit. It's Kang.
You want Kang?
No. I want Khonshu, the builder figure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't want all the other figures with it, and no one else does. Hence why they're so cheap. So yeah, I was looking at it.
That's why Connor was selling just the figures and not the build figure pieces in the comp.
Yeah, because I was like, oh man, I said to him, do I do this and do I try and flog off these pieces at the fair or something? And he was even straight away, it's like, who's going to want to buy these toys? Like, honestly, it's just us.
We have, well, this is the list. Agent Jimmy Woo.
Yes, I've only got one of them. I've only got Howard the Duck.
All right. Agent Jimmy Woo, no one wants that.
No.
Classic Loki, no one wants that.
Oh,
Zombie
like
Scarlet Witch. Zombie Scarlet Witch, I want. I don't have yet. He Who Remains, so Kang. No one really wants that. Howard the Duck, everyone wants that.
What's that? Yeah. So it's funny.
Red Skull.
Yeah, so like I just looked at the figures, and each one in that set, I was like, man, there's better versions of those same characters already out, or I have them of some sort. So it's just difficult because I'm like, I want the builder figure, but I don't really care about the rest of it.
Yeah.
Well, I want the builder figure. When I got that, I picked it up and I'm like, why the fuck is that so heavy?
Yeah.
And it didn't click. And then it's because the builder figure in that
is his body.
Is the body twice the size of Howard the Duck.
Yeah. The Howard the Duck bit's like irrelevant. You've paid for it.
Let's him there. Like he's tiny, and then you compare it to like a normal build, like Marvel Legends and all that. It's like 2 inches on him, kind of thing. So.
What's funny is that I bought the classic Loki and the He Who Remains off of Connor because he was trying to flog them off because he had the build figure pieces.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Sell the shit you don't want to Ashraf.
Yeah. I'll eat
you
it
don't
up.
need another He Who Remains classic Loki Jimmy Woo, do you, by any chance? So.
Do you have the build figure?
Me? No, I've only got Howard and Yeah, Howard. But I do want Zombie Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's cool.
But he also
But I
wants to
don't have
build
it
the
yet.
figure. That's the thing. The Konsu is the coolest part about that whole line. So
How
why
do they
can't
make
they
his
just
head
release
float?
us a Konsu? Just release a Konsu, and they will eventually. Surely
Yeah.
they'll just release a Konsu. So I'll
Like a
just buy them.
30th anniversary or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
The
Phase
one
4.
I'm annoyed about, like, is so the builder figures have always been good because you're getting like a giant Hulk or the characters that
Yeah.
are too big to make an action figure of because they're either too big, too weighty, or too expensive to make. So you get all this. That's a great idea. Gets you to buy, the 5 or 6 figures you need to complete the thing. But have you seen the Guardians of the Galaxy one that just came out
Oh, with
for the
this
movie?
Cosmo.
You get Cosmo, so you're getting the figure, but then you're getting like a
It's tiny
leg that's
pieces.
smaller
Yeah.
than like Star-Lord's
Yeah.
gun kind of thing.
And
And
it's out of proportion, right? When you put it next to the other toys, it's fucking like too big. Like it's huge.
yeah, and it's like they should be using that to have made like the Groot that you can buy in that series, which is an oversized figure. That should have
With
been the
wings,
builder
yeah.
figure.
Yeah.
So
Why would you not build Groot and just have Cosmo come with Groot's head or something?
Yeah.
Is it because they've done Groot before? Like that way?
No, well, there's how they do like the normal size ones like this, and then they make the bigger ones, which is like a 2-pack, or might have someone else in it. There is like the price point's like $65 or something, and it's Groot, but like the big bulky
Right.
dude from the last movie. So
With the wings.
yeah, with the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've made some weird. I know Legends in general's made some weird choices in the last couple of years for what to build a figure. The boxing thing. I know they're going back
Boxing's
to having
horrible.
a window. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Um,
What a fucking dumbass move.
Oh, I'm not even kidding. I've got a couple of.
The Venom.
I think that shits me off so much because I can't. Mine's fucked. I can't really do anything with it. It has to be displayed in one sort of fashion unless I glue the wings in. But if that was in a clear plastic see-through thing, I would have been able to tell. I would have been able to go, those wings aren't going to fit. There's a mistake here with the pegs. Like the fact that and then I bought the Amazing Fantasy 15 Spider-Man, and the little web bits don't sit in properly in that.
Yeah, that's dumb. I've got that too, and
so
I'm like,
shit.
am I doing it wrong or
Yeah, it took me literally. I think the video is up, and it's me literally spending a good 10 minutes trying to figure out how the fuck to put the web in, and just that
web.
Venom. Oh, so
They've
shit.
used that same web accessory for like 15 years, like in every Spider-Man video.
I just wanted it because it was the Amazing Fantasy 15 exactness, basically.
Yeah.
I was excited.
It looks
for
like
that.
a good figure.
Yeah, and like visually, when you get it, it looks cool. But because you can't put the webbing in, it's then I've got 100 other way cooler Spidey toys. So it felt kind of like I've been gypped on this one. And the Venom, I still like the Knoll figure. The Venom figure's cool, but because the wings don't work, it's just like I was like, well, I've got a Venom figure that's twice the size and looks more scary. This is frustrating. I bought this for the wings and doesn't really work.
I just thought of the best builder figure they should do. They're doing a Spider-Verse or Spider-Geddon style one. You have the Japanese Spider-Man.
Yeah,
And
the
then the
robot.
builder figure for that series is that giant car.
The mech.
That he has. The mech.
Yeah.
How fucking sweet would that be?
Because they have the Japanese Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It costs like $68 or some shit. But yeah.
I've been looking. I thought it was funny because I went into JB Hi-Fi and I'd been at the Zing on the same day, and so Zing had the Franklin and whatever her name is Richards 2-pack, and Zing's pricing just on the shelf was like $99 or something like that, just absurd. Went to Zing. I went to JB and they had it for like, I think it was on sale for $40. It's like, how do you even compete with each other when you've got a company going that cheap?
They
Brett, you don't know how cheap they're selling these toys for. They're selling these fucking toys for $10 in some cases.
Yeah, $10 to $5. Yeah. There's
a
whole box of Legends just stacked up, and they were basically like, everything in this box is $10. We got to.
That's fucking insane. Like they're literally giving away these toys.
I think
wonder
they're
how
just
cheap they
like
got
buying them on clearance, and I think Zing must like buy them, bulk buy them, and then just say we're just going to keep them at this price. We'll sell them eventually. Yeah. We've got 100 stores Australia wide. We can just ship them around or sell them online. Someone will buy them.
Yeah, and so then but with JB now coming into that space and coming in so hot and heavy and cheap, It's absolutely brutal. I can't imagine anyone. I can imagine also it being like, I'm really glad I'm not selling toys now, because if I had to compete with what JB Hi-Fi is doing, like I like price matching with JB Hi-Fi right now would be horrendous.
Oh my God. EB would actually lose money.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that, going into EB and going, right, well, I want this. All right. So that's actually only $20 because JB's doing them for $5 each at the moment.
That's fucking insane. Yeah,
Brutal.
$10 for a McFarlane toy. That's insane.
Yeah, the
like,
fact that I got those giant toys for $20 and their
Yeah.
price on the shelf is like $90.
Yeah, last week, like 2 weeks ago, that manga spawn was like 70.
Yeah, because I think because Brett, obviously you went and looked for me, and they only
that was
had
only 25.
Yeah, just that's insane. Because I paid 90 for my Kilgore, so and I was happy to look. I'm happy to pay 90 for that Kilgore because it's a sick toy. It was just like when you see the manga spawn, you're like, yeah, it's not really worth 90. So to get it for $20 a couple of weeks later, it's like, whoa, what the hell? But we bought, I think in the last couple of months, there's also been a lot of Avatar, the Last Airbender stuff. So Bryony's picked up a couple of little pieces. Like I was in the checkout and they had the gold label edition Aang that me and Bryony were sort of wondering if it was ever going to make it here. And they just had one left sitting there, and that was like on sale. I got it for $15 down from 45. It's like, how can anyone compete with that? Especially if they're matching those prices on their website. Like if you walk into another store.
You think JB is trying to get out of the action figure market? That's why they're just trying to clear all of their stock.
I think they're getting ready to do a big order of new stock. I think this is one of those moments where they're like, right, we've ordered all this. This is how long it's sat for. Because some of it's like Age of Apocalypse line. So they've had it for a while. So now it's like, let's ditch it as cheap as possible. Whatever money's made or not made on it, whatever money we get back from it, they can throw it into ordering SDCC's newest announcements, which seems to be a common trend I've noticed recently. Is everyone does these huge sales for the end of financial year, obviously, but then it's just get rid of as much stock, unload as much as possible, and then these huge orders of new SDCC releases come through, and we will see a handful of them make to shelf because a lot of it will be pre-order from all the crazy kids that can keep up to date with everything. But then the rest of it we'll see at Brett's Fair. Collectible no, hang on. Collector World will be there. They'll definitely have SDC stuff. They always do. I'll have some SDC stuff this time because I've done a cheeky order for some people to get some things. Oops. I slipped and fell, and I've ordered some music-related figures. But I think we'll see our stores in Australia get smashed with a lot of SDCC stock coming up. Once again, we're talking about it and we shouldn't be. Bye.
Fuck it, let's just talk about it. Brett, did you get anything cool lately?
Any buys?
Well, I got, first off, Iron Man. I worked out this trick. So what I did was I was looking on Amazon at stuff and I'm like, oh, should I get that? It's really cheap. It was the Iron Man, the What If one, zombie. Because I've got the Captain America zombie, and that's why I want the Scarlet Witch as well. Try to get all the zombies because I've always loved the comics. And I left it in the Amazon cart. And then Sarah, my partner, she was on there looking. She bought whatever she bought. And then paid for it, left. And then her shit rocked up and it had bloody Iron Man in there with it. She's like, what the hell? And then she realized what she'd done. And then I'm like, looking, I've got Iron Man now. I'll definitely go out and get Scarlet Witch and that. And I wanted the Howard the Duck too. So I've put Howard the Duck. I did have a Scarlet Witch in there, but I took it out because I thought I could find it cheaper. I'll have a look around because it was still like the 35 or whatever dollars. So I left that in there. And I've been playing Star Wars. I've wanted this for a while, but I've been playing the new Star Wars or the Star Wars Survivor, Fallen Order, not Survivor. And I love the droid, so I wanted to get the Lego set. So guess what else was in the cart?
You put the Lego set in the cart.
Scarlet Witch.
So the Lego set, and Howard the Duck, because I left that in there because it was cheap.
Okay.
and she saw the Howard the Duck in there, and she's like to buy something else, and she's like, "Oh fuck it, I'll get it again. I'll get it for him because he loved the Iron Man." So she consciously did it this time,
but didn't realize the Lego was in there.
and then she saw the Lego in there, and then the same thing. She was just like, "Oh fuck it, like whatever, I'll get it." And then yeah, so I got the Lego and Howard the Duck. So Sarah's like, "I'll buy like, I don't know, $15 worth of comics." And she'd be like, "Why are you spending all this money?" And then she goes out and blows like, I think that was like 140 or something, and then the 30 per.
That's awesome.
So it's all right when she spends money, but when I do it, it's just...
That's the rules, man. That's the rules.
And what else did I get? Oh, I got oh, so you get Howard the Duck comes with that little.
Oh yeah, Scott
Peter
Lang.
Parker head.
We thought we better
Scott Lang.
Yeah,
it's a tiny figure. We better put something else in there besides a giant Khonshu. I got some other Lego actually. I got this for some reason, a little rocket because it was like $12.
That's cool.
Showing it in their built, kind of in their built.
what is it? It's just Rocket.
Has
Rocket.
anyone picked up their comics lately?
Yeah, I picked up some. While Brad's building it, maybe I'll talk about.
Oh, that's cool. This is just a rocket and a robot.
Yeah,
He never does this.
the mech thing.
Everything has a mech thing now. Don't you know this, Ashraf? Oh,
Everyone.
where have you been living? Under a rock?
And then I got a little Boba Fett.
That's cool.
The Boba Fett's starship. It's no longer called Slave One, whatever.
What's it called now?
No, it's
Because it had Slave in the name, they changed it to Starship. That's it there.
Boring. It's
Yeah,
still Slave
Starship.
One to me. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
And
that
then-
name?
No, the controversy is overblown. I think it's still
Yeah,
called
it's not
Slave
worth
One.
it.
Just on the toy, it's not called.
Yeah, okay.
And then because I've been collecting all the Akbar stuff, it's slowly getting out of control from just the vintage things. So I saw this on eBay. So I'm like, I need a graded Admiral Akbar Tops 9 Return of the Jedi sticker. So I got a sticker that's been graded.
It's the stupidest thing. It's gold. I actually think I was trying to think of the other day we're talking, me and one of the guys were just talking about stupid things that we own. And I mentioned you, Brett. I was like,
yeah.
my mate has an army of Akbars. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Oh,
But now you've got the sticker, it's even worse.
My new thing I'm going to get is the Rebel transport. So what it was is you had like I don't know if you've seen the Darth Vader heads. I've got two of them actually.
The army building is so ridiculous.
So it's these,
Oh, yeah, yep.
and then you open them up.
Oh, I've seen it. I have seen it. Yeah.
What is this?
That's where all the toys go.
And so it's to like
Oh
carry
my
your toys
God.
around in. Like it's got a handle at the back.
It's
here.
a Darth Vader
Carry.
head with a bunch of slots.
That's
for
old
carrying
school. When did
toys.
they come out? They were like,
They came with Empire. I think
Yeah.
the Return of the Jedi one was a C-3PO head.
yeah.
And there's a bandola, you know, like Chewbacca has like the
belt.
Yeah.
bullet thing. There's one of them that has spots to put figures in too, which is
Oh, that's
fucking awesome.
smart.
That's cool. But they've
But
done
I'm going
the
to fill
ship.
them up with Akbars. So you open it up and it's like, it's a trap and it's filled with that. But my new one that I'm going to do is there's a Rebel transport. So like in Hoth, when they're trying to get everyone off out of the base, there's like these big ships like that. And they actually sit like, I don't know, like 20 people. So I'm going to get them and fill them with Akbars. So that's going to be insane. But anyway, that's what I mean. I get carried away when stuff like that shows up. Yeah, it's just...
So that's the goal. So
crazy.
basically, I know that at the Mega Toy Fair that was last June, I got you a couple, including a female. So now,
yeah, where's
so
a female calamarian.
Stuff around.
Calamarian.
yeah, I was so random because I bought the ones that I saw that I was like, oh, they're the same ones that he gets. And then I saw this one in a dress.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I have to buy this. I don't know if this is
Fair.
an actual thing or a knockoff, and no one seemed
Akbar
to
in
really
drag.
know much about it, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think she's from...
It's probably new.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably new. But like,
seen
yeah, such a great, like when I saw them all stacked up and the price was pretty fair, I was like, you know what, I'll just have to get it.
They're in bags of 5. I think I've showed you these before.
Yeah.
It's like drug dealer bags.
Drug dealer bags. How do you know what they look like, Ashraf? Bloody Eshay.
It's like 5 grams of Akbar.
5
Yeah.
grams of Akbar. And that's the street term.
Yeah.
Slinging some Akbar, mate.
Yeah, I got that on, and I've got this. I was so annoyed. This is from
Oh,
Earthworm
Earthworm
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah.
So there's like, I don't know, what's
I haven't
that?
seen them in
8
ages.
in the set. So I've got just the normal Earthworm Jim, and I was following the guy that I got it from on eBay, and he had like 5 others, and they were like, I think they were like $90 or something like that. The Earthworm Jim was like 100, and then the rest of them were like $90 or something. And I'm like, that's a bit too much to pay. I'll pay like 60 maybe or something like that. But I was watching them all, and then I just went into eBay for whatever reason, looked at what I was watching, and they'd all been put down to half price, 50% off.
Oh, sweet.
So all of them that I'd been watching had been bloody sold like 3 days earlier. But yeah, he was still
When
left.
that happens.
So I got him for like $40.
Yeah, no.
So I was pretty happy
That's a
with
good
that. And
price.
it's pretty mint. So
Yeah.
there's no real, besides a bit of a bend there.
Which, yeah, carded stuff's pretty normal from even just happening in the mail these days.
Yeah. So that's good. No price tags, no nothing. So I'm pretty happy with that.
What would cause someone to keep that for that long and only sell it for $40?
Well, that's what I mean. He had it for so much, and then he's just.
No
I
one
looked
wanted
at
it.
all the other figures he had, and everything was like, yeah, dirt cheap. So I think he probably just like, oh, I just want to get rid of everything.
Maybe there was something else he wanted, and it was like, I need to do some quick sales to throw some money in.
Well, there was very few toys that he was actually selling. He had like other like, what was it? Like old books and records and stuff like that. So I think he must have just gone, I want to get rid of all the toys.
Probably losing his house or something.
Yeah, that's the current state of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's everything I've got. Oh, actually, I've got new comics. Do we count new comics?
Yeah, well, I was
let's
going to say, let's have a
comics.
quick chat about comics, because I was going to say, I went to Gamma's the other day and I picked up my lot. I picked up basically $300 worth of books.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. But that also included some slips. 2 packets, it's only $20. But mostly, like I said, I'm catching up on my reading. I'm going to go through these. A lot of these are finishing now, which is cool. And like I said, I've been slowly canceling more and more just stuff that isn't good. I've finally hit that point, because at one point I was such a completist that I was like, I can't not get all of these titles that relate to Spider-Man. And now I'm like, this is terrible. I didn't get the Spider-Man India. I didn't get anything to do with Gwen for the last couple of years. I just
Too many. Yeah.
Too many. And it's not as fun to read some of them. But then there's stuff like, I might better get it out. Hello's Eve. There's a strange tie-in at the moment, but this is awesome. Hello's Eve is really cool. I'm really enjoying it.
Who is that?
So that's Ben Reilly's girlfriend, the clone as well, I believe. What's her name? I've gone blank.
Clone of Gwen.
No, it's a clone of Mary Jane to some sort of degree. But she has another name and stuff, and she's been Ben's love interest from day one, basically. It's all very, she's cool. She's got this new power where she gets in limbo, that these masks that she can wear, and whatever mask she puts on, she gains the power of. So she'll put on like a zombie mask, and then she has the powers of a zombie or Dracula or whatever else. But she put on a werewolf mask, bit someone, and now they're a werewolf. So the powers are actually like, you have all the abilities of that creature, good and bad. So she's sort of struggling and trying to learn how to deal with these powers and how to save people, and also trying to figure out how to get Ben Reilly out of his Lobo prison. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been awesome. It tied off the last sort of Spidey event, kind of. And with all the X-Men tie-in that was going on with Spidey for a little bit, this all sort of popped out of that, and with Ben Reilly going absolutely nuts and becoming Schism or something. I can't remember who changed his name again. But yeah, he was a letdown. She was actually became the standout for me from that part of the series.
The editorial doesn't know what to do with Ben Reilly.
Yeah, they keep sort of tossing him around and changing him up a bit too much. The Schism stuff looks cool, but it's just, I don't know. just
Well,
him
there's
being
3 Spider-Mans out there. It's not just old Peter Parker kicking around now. So it's like we've got 3 Spider-Mans trying to make 3 titles and give them 2 titles each or whatever. And
well, what? So we've got Spider-Man, like Amazing Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man
Morales.
Peter Parker. And then we got Miles Morales Spider-Man. We've
straight
got
Spider-Man.
Spider-Gwen. Yeah, that's the other one I mentioned. There was 2 other miniseries running for Spider-Man at the same time, the Craven one and the
Nightcrawler.
Oh, and there's the Nightcrawler one
Yeah.
too. I forgot about that. So there you go. There's fucking 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we got Miles Morales,
Yep.
amazing.
Yep, reading both of them.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Miles. They're the only 3 that I'm getting. So
Yeah. So there's also
picked them up yesterday.
there were some other 2 mini series that were running at the same time. Hallows
Spider-Boy.
Eve ties in, Spider Gwen's going on still, and
Spider-Boy.
But Spider-Gwen also has the mini series too. So there's 2
Yeah,
Spider-Gwens
there's a
running.
ton of mini-series. Yeah.
Yeah, insane. Just too much. So I mean, I'd already sort of canned half of that stuff, but Hallows Eve is really, really good. When this comes out in trade, if you're not going to bother with the stuff, and I feel like you can kind of read this as its own. All you have to know is that she's out on her own trying to figure out how to deal with this weird new ability that she's been given. And she's not good. She's not a good person, but she's not a bad person. She's just lost is the right word to use, I think. So, yeah. Hallows Eve, good fun. Punisher, amazing. We've got a new Punisher coming soon.
Yeah. People aren't happy about that, but I don't know who the guy is. Anyway, speaking about Lost, I got Superman Lost recently. How
did you get him lost?
Yeah.
Where was he?
He was lost in space. Lost in my fucking reading pile, more like it, to be honest. Yeah, so it's a Christopher Priest book. It's like Elseworld miniseries where Superman goes into a black hole. He comes back 10 minutes later, but 10 minutes for us, but for him, he's been gone for years and years and years. And he's like lived like thousands of lives, and he's trying to acclimate back to Earth and back with Lois and everything. But like he's so far gone that like the Justice League and Lois is unsure if he can ever be normal again. Like he doesn't breathe on Earth, he doesn't eat anymore, he doesn't sleep. And he's constantly staring off into the distance and trying to get back to where he was in space. And then like the series details like how he's acclimating back to Earth and how space broke him, really. It's like how do you take a character like Superman who's so optimistic and so hopeful and like break him? Yeah.
Bad Superman. Red Sun Superman. Here we go, Ashraf. He's gonna go
Red Sun was good.
He's gonna go evil by the end, and then you're gonna be all salty about it.
No. It's a different kind of conflict than like is he evil or not. It's is he still Clark or not, maybe. But yeah. The other thing was like you mentioned like aliens. Like the other thing Philip Kennedy Johnson is writing is Action Comics.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's like a really good, like he's been writing it for a few years now. And like it's running concurrently with the Superman title, but like the Action Comics title is like this sort of like anthology where you have like it's not just Superman, it's like the entire super family and other stories written by other people as well, and they're all really good. They all tie into each other. They did it really well. It's not like I thought it was gonna be a mess, but I ended up really enjoying all of it, and I'm really excited to see where it goes next. Like look like they're building a really intricate metropolis. It's like it reminds me of how there's like for DC the Bat family gets such a focus. Like each like Nightwing and Batgirl and everyone have like this interconnected story with the main Batman title, and what happens in Batman affects the rest of the titles and stuff. This one is like whatever happens in action spreads out to the rest of the super family, and like vice versa. And yeah, I think Philip Kennedy Johnson's probably like the best new writer in a very long time, especially for like someone like Superman.
Speaking of mess, just because oddly you reminded me, I've just put in the order for them to combine all the stuff in my US warehouse, Brett, to get ready to send it down. So in
Sweet. Get mine.
yeah, I'll probably properly pay for it in the next, what's this week? No, I'll probably be a week or I've got to figure out when I get paid, a week or two, and then I'll pay for it to get sent down. So
is
not
it
that
crazy
long.
expensive, or is it?
To get everything that's in there, so there's 7 parcels there at the moment.
Jesus.
The dogs are,
And a dog?
yeah, you can. Yeah, does anyone want a dog? 7 parcels that are all getting bundled up into another box. I think it's around, we'll just say $300
The post.
to post. Yeah, but at the same time, that's how much the last lot cost me, and then with the stuff I sold, I ended up, it covers what I bought and the postage. So
Do they charge you like by a package, or they charge you by like weight or something?
it's by, I think it's by weight, I believe, but they also obviously charge a certain amount. Like I've asked them to put on fragile tape and do other things. So there's little price tags, and I put insurance on this time because I know one of the other ones I forgot to put insurance on, and I was so fucking stressed the whole time. It's like if something happens, then that's all that money's gone, and it's insured for like $1,000 US. So if anything goes wrong, that just straight back into our pockets. So
good.
Is that, well, then when it hits customs, it says 1,000 on it, so you'll have to pay GST on that.
nah, it's 700. It says on theirs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 different insurances. I've got it insured through Shippy2, and then instead of on the customs thing, it just says 700.
Fuck, you're playing 5D chess, dude.
Yeah, I'm not fucking around. I'm not.
I need to do the old
customs.
trick where you pay them
also,
$2 to put a birthday card in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it also says that it is either personal or gift, so you can choose that. But on top of that, I've got my address set up in a state that doesn't do taxes when they do transfers. Thank you.
My God, dude.
Thank you, America.
Are you sure you should be saying this here? In this
I don't know.
broadcasted episode?
Yeah, it's fine. That's literally on their website. They literally brag about it. Like if you have a warehouse in this state, they don't do taxes for this, this, and this. So,
that's cool. That's crazy.
Yeah. They basically have a is it Oregon? I think Oregon. OR.
Oregon.
Yeah, they have a different rule on sending stuff with taxes and that. Yeah, customs may get involved if there's a shipment over a certain price, but no taxes in that area for anything posted, sent, or for travel costs and that. But so therefore, it should not really also get affected by customs in that area.
Customs.
Customs. Yeah,
really
that's what I've read their thing. That's the reason I chose to go there, because there was 2 places. I think there was one you could also set up in New York, and I was like, well, a lot of the parcels I was looking at are coming from that kind of area originally. So I was like, maybe that's the best bet, because then postage will be cheap. But then it ended up balancing out by going with the other place, because then I don't pay all these extra taxes and fees and things. So I was like, well, yeah. Anyway,
there's a service that does that in Japan. I'm looking into that.
Yeah, well, I'd love to know a bit more about that too, because that'd be kind of cool. Just
that's great. Like from what I understand, like they go on the Japanese websites, like Japanese eBay, and bid on stuff on your behalf as well.
Yeah, you can set up Shippy2 to do that too. Ship it too. Shippy. I just call it Shippy2.
Oh no, that's the same thing. Shit, we're talking about the same thing.
Oh, the same company.
Yeah, it's the same company does that.
Just open it up into other places. Yeah, I think they've even got one here now. So people can buy stuff from here and get it built up and then sent elsewhere.
That's cool. Yeah, I want to go get a 3DS and not have to ask Austin for one.
I can get you one.
Yeah,
really? Are you going to Japan?
Just us.
Maybe.
Yeah,
have I told either of you? No, I haven't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I leave Christmas Day to go to Japan. 3 weeks.
I think you've actually told me this.
Start groveling.
Yeah, now tell me what DS you want, because the stores over there you go into, and there's literally just like 1,000 like Famicom, Super Famicoms or whatever, or like giant walls of DSs and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was literally thousands of different ones there for like $30, $10.
Oh, that's so
insane.
Good. It's like $300 here. I'm like kicking myself because like I missed the boat in buying a 3DS.
Which one do you want? What, you just want the plain normal one?
No, I have that right now. I want the new 3DS XL. So it's relatively new, but like they don't make it anymore.
3DS XL. I don't
It's
even know
really
what that
it's
is.
no. The new is a
Just
part of the name,
3DS,
Sam.
it's bigger, just a big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
yeah.
like 2 thumbsticks on it.
I literally have got a Switch and started using it for the first time the other day. For ages. It's the worst console.
I still have them.
Switch is
Smash.
perfect for what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be a PlayStation. It's meant to be something completely different.
I can't believe the new Mortal Kombat is gonna come to the Switch. I don't know how it's gonna run.
I've been playing the old one on there. That's what I did as I bought
Oh,
the
really?
last Mortal Kombat on there, so I could take it between here and Bryony's house and play. And they took out they took out some of the stuff, so I guess the graphics couldn't handle it. But yeah, it's the graphics on it are horrendous on the Switch. It's actually
Too fast for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the hair goes all white and diluted and weird. Yeah, so I now know that if I want to buy a game that has superior graphics, just stick to the PlayStation or computer.
Yeah.
Not that I play games very often anymore, but when I do, I like to be able to, get a good visual. So I've learnt my lesson there. We've hit an hour.
Yeah, we have actually.
We've hit an hour of an episode.
Does
anyone else that have stuff they need to add before we round it all up?
Brett, did you want to quickly talk about the comics you bought?
Yeah. Run through those comics.
Talking about your random shit that Brett gets. So I've got the full run.
Yes, I've got them.
RoboCop.
RoboCop now.
I don't have the full run, but I think I've got the first one.
So I've just been flicking through them as I've been, because they came in like those old weird bags. So I've just been rebagging them and reading them as I go. So that's why there's only a couple done.
Did realize with me.
Then there was the new ones, the Spideys. That's the only thing I'm getting now. But I'm probably going to drop Miles on that and just stick with Amazing, because I don't get time to read them.
People are doing the opposite.
I got that, which is cool. So that's got it's just reprints. It's got Hulk 1, Journey into Mystery 83, Tales of Suspense 39, Strange Tales 110, and Daredevil 1. So just some of the origins, just fun to reread every now and then. I got, for some reason, I looked up Secret Invasion and I still needed a few, and someone had a sale. So I bought, there's about 15 odd there.
It's just weird. I thought I had all of them and I don't. And I didn't realize how big the series was.
There's about 120 Secret Invasion comics, like over everything.
Yeah, wow.
But I just bought, because I've got a lot of the others. So I just got the New Avengers and the Mighty Avengers, the runs that they did. I've got like 2 or 3 of them, but it was like, I don't know, I think it was like $30 for the full run thing.
That's pretty good.
I got another Strange Tales 96. I read it and left it where my comics are stored the other day. But then I also got Strange Tales 79.
Oh, that's a nice looking copy.
So that's, it's actually really, really good. Like, I was really happy with that. I got it cheap too. So that's awesome. 79 would be 1960.
Yeah.
So
960. That sounds about right.
And then Strange Tales 109.
Oh, I have that.
Pretty good copy, which would be 109 would be 1964. Yeah.
I have a real low grade version of that.
Yeah, so that's that. So I've almost finished Strange Tales up from 75 up now. So
hell yeah, that's cool.
I need a couple, and obviously to upgrade my 110, the next issue in that. So first Doctor Strange, which I'll never be able to upgrade now.
That was when I got that that issue. I remember just being like going through the key. I think it was key collector list of what keys were in that series. I saw that Doctor Strange was the next one. I was like, God damn it! Why wasn't that in the bundle?
Yeah. So I got them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Not too many comics, just a few toys.
We'll have a good one when that stuff from the US shows up. That'll be good fun to see what.
A tease to stay tuned.
I know I spent like there's probably about $600 worth of comics in one lot in the bundle in there. So there's a big lot. There's a shitload of comics in there. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to my cards.
Your cards, yeah. There'll be comics, cards, and also the other night. This is so stupid. So, I said I wasn't going to bother with the Mighty Ducks toys, But there's the vehicle.
Good call.
And for the vehicle, I've already got one of the toys, but like for the vehicle, I was like, it's always too expensive for what I want to spend. And there was one in the Whatnot marketplace for $3. Oh, that was the starting bid. So I put the starting bid on for $3, but the auction wasn't for like a month or two, and I forgot about it. So then the other night I woke up to my phone going, I've been like, you won this auction. I'm like, oh shit, have I been bidding in my sleep? What's going on here? No one had bid on it, so I got it for $3. Was the one of the motorbikes or the cars?
So there's the
Mighty
Turbo
Ducks.
Wing, which is a jet that looks like a duck bill.
Ooh, maybe it's that.
And then there's the Duck Cycle, which is just a motorbike with like a Mighty Ducks coffee mask.
I reckon that's it. I reckon I got that for $3.
The Duck Cycle.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, whoop, I didn't even mean to.
So weird.
Oh, yeah, because I just put the low bid on it, thinking it's a vehicle, it's cool. Let's see what happens.
How many figures are there?
How many? There's 4 or
5.
5.
All right.
5. Yeah.
5. Yeah, because there's the 3 dudes, the chick, and isn't there?
Chick is a different meaning.
A villain. And a villain.
So speaking of Mighty Ducks, let's make like a bunch of ducks and flee for the winter. Migrate.
Yeah, time to migrate. It's time to finish this episode by migrating south.
Yeah. You know what you should have been on? You should have been on G.I. Joe Snake Eyes figures.
I'll get the fuck off.